From Washington, this is VOA News. A ceasefire deal is reached in South Sudan's conflict, and a key economic indicator in China declines for the first time in months. I'm Michael Lipin reporting from Washington. South Sudan's warring factions have agreed to a ceasefire to try to end weeks of deadly fighting. Representatives of South Sudanese President Salva Kiir and his opponents signed the truce deal on Thursday in Ethiopia's capital. They had been meeting in Addis Ababa under the mediation of an East African regional bloc known as IGAD. White House spokesman Jay Carney praised the South Sudanese negotiators for reaching the agreement.
The United States urges both sides to build on this momentum by moving swiftly to an inclusive political dialogue to resolve the underlying causes of the current conflict. The U.S. will remain a steady partner to those who choose the path of peace and continue to work for a more peaceful, democratic, unified South Sudan.
UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said he hopes the truce will ease the plight of South Sudan's suffering people. A survey of the Chinese economy suggests the country's key manufacturing sector contracted in January for the first time in 6 months. That could put a damper on the growth prospects for the world's second largest economy in the new year. The Chinese Manufacturing Survey is known as the Purchasing Managers' Index and is compiled by British bank HSBC. Its latest reading came in at 49.6 in January. Any reading below 50 signals a reduction in activity by Chinese manufacturers. An HSBC economist said the decrease was mainly caused by cooling domestic demand in China. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says the rocky relationship between Japan and China is comparable to that of Germany and Britain before World War I. Speaking to reporters on Wednesday at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Mr. Abe also referred to China's steady increases in military spending as a provocation. Japan and China have had a turbulent history, but their ties have been especially strained in recent years because of maritime territorial disputes and mutual concerns about each other's military intentions. But some analysts say the strong economic ties between the two Asian powers makes an outbreak of hostilities unlikely. Authorities in India say they have arrested 13 people in connection with an alleged gang rape of a woman accused of falling in love with a man from a different ethnic group. They say the alleged incident took place earlier this week in a remote village in India's West Bengal state. Reports from the area suggest that the woman is a member of an ethnic tribal group and her partner is a Muslim man from a neighboring village. Media reports say the rape was allegedly ordered by a village council as a retaliation for the affair. India's Information and Broadcasting Minister Manish Tiwari denounced the incident in comments to reporters.
I think this is absolutely inhuman, and it is completely outrageous and preposterous, to say the least. In a democratic country based upon the rule of law, no vigilantism can be permitted. The West Bengal government must immediately arrest the accused and ensure that they are given the strictest punishment possible.
Well, India has struggled to curb rapes and other forms of sexual abuse, in part because of its poorly trained police force and its patriarchal attitudes towards women. The world's newest ski resort is set to open to tourists in North Korea. The controversial Masik Pass ski resort, southeast of Pyongyang, is a showcase project for North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, who spent much of his childhood at a boarding school in Switzerland. The resort gained attention last year when the Swiss government blocked the sale of ski lifts to North Korea, saying it would violate UN sanctions. A Swiss official also called the resort a propaganda project. And pro-democracy group Freedom House says the level of freedom around the world declined last year. In its annual report released Thursday, the group said more than half of the world's population is living in areas that are only partly free or not free at all. The Washington-based group reported rankings for 195 countries and 14 territories based on their political rights and civil liberties. Rights abuses and fighting in Syria and repression in Saudi Arabia put both of those countries among the least 10 free nations. We'll have more on those stories and the rest of the day's news on our website, voanews.com. I'm Michael Lipin reporting from Washington.